and you saw where it was like my man towards the end of the movie had to lift a 250-pound diving suit on one natural leg and one prosthetic leg, and then he has to take 12 steps in this thing, and somewhere around the 9th step my man's leg breaks. That's no longer skill after that. Skill stops at a certain point because it can't break the threshold of whatever that is, right? But will always break through that. Yeah, boy, we back at it again. It's another episode of Honest Moments. Me, Greg Walker. I'm here with the two greatest people in the world. Nate the Great, Mr. He's on a quest.
What up?
What's up, baby? What is going down?
Oh, good.
That's what's up. And we also got to the table Mr. Technology, Mr. Tech Man, Mr. 313, Rico Larry. Rich, what's going on, man?
What up, Nate the Great? What up, G Money? Gotta give you a nickname too, huh?
Yeah, I guess I need one, right? Everybody else got one.
Mac Jeezy. What's up?
Sound like I'm going to jail soon. Shoot.
Nah, you can have Lil in front of your name.
Yeah, I gotta have either Little or Baby in front of my name.
And Lil Mac Jeezy.
6'2", 300 pounds, Little Mac Jeezy. I take that.
Oh, man.
I take that.
Yeah, man. What's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling? How the weeks been since the last time we spoke?
Kids getting older. Celebrated a couple of birthdays.
Speaking of that, bro, I'm glad February has come to a conclusion because, man. Your household in February with y'all birthdays.
We got 4 birthdays in February and Valentine's Day coming right off of Christmas.
It's easy to remember, though, huh?
Man.
Listen, your Februaries are my Octobers, man. October is like that for us. We got 5 birthdays and we heading into Christmas.
Yeah, see, my household, we spread out. You got June, August, December, so we get a little recovery time in between, birthdays and.
Hey, almost in that December though, you can like lump it all together.
Renee close enough with the December to Christmas to where I gotta be strategic with my gift giving. So yeah, it's all good, man. Glad we made it through another day, month, year. We a year into the experience of the COVID pandemic, and we on the other side of it. It seems, certain states starting to lift mask mandates, and how y'all feel about that, man? If it comes down to it here, y'all ready to take the mask off?
Well, I gotta say, man, Texas out here open. I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. I'm tired of a mask. I'm tired of restrictions right now. I don't know. I was kind of messing around with Ebony. I was like, man, I wish if I knew that everybody would be okay, I wish we would all just get it, be over with.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
Nah, for real.
See the look on my face, Rich, when he said that?
It's like one of those, like, take
no.
Take a cold.
Yeah, gotta be quick.
Get the flu. Be dashed.
I'm good, bro.
Hit the Matrix on it. But nah, it's like the whole thing. I don't know. We've gone through the whole thing of like protocols. Like you can't have a normal stomach ache or nothing. You got to go all through these school protocols, and now you out, and then you got to go 500 different things just to get back to school, and it's crazy. I
said Zeta got to go through that. Well, somebody in her class just was hit with it, so now we're like 14 days. She got to quarantine. She can still go to school. It's just 14 days outside of school. They would like for us to quarantine, and I was like, hold on a second. You still want her to show up for school,
but when she ain't at school, she got to be in the house.
That's why I'm like, this don't make no sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Yes.
Hold on, wait. Back that up. They said you got to go to school, but when you come home, you can't go nowhere else.
Look at.
That's true.
I understand the words coming out of my mouth.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm sitting over here like, this doesn't even make a lick of sense. I was like, I walked in the house today. I hit Lisa. I was like, look, I got the email from school. She got a quarantine. we may have to move a little differently for these next couple of weeks. She was like, no, they just said she can't go anywhere outside of school. Okay, that don't make no sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
I think people just making stuff up now as they go. They just coming up with all kind of. It don't even make sense to them. They just like, we'll just go with that. That sounds like a plan.
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to do. Like I see their part a little bit in the sense that you got to cover yourself. You got to make sure that something does happen. You got to make sure you did everything you're supposed to.
But dude, what sense does it make when you say, all right, it's cool to it's okay to get your classmates sick. Just don't go and get nobody else sick outside the school.
Because they can't track it. I think it boils down to tracking. If I know you ain't been nowhere else but school, I can say, yep, it's these 5 people that you were around.
Yeah, but you done brought that stuff home. Little Bobby should have stayed his butt at home and wouldn't expose Zeta, and I wouldn't be sitting around here thinking like, man.
It seems backwards because kids. I mean, real talk, kids is nasty, bro. They don't wash their hands right. They be all wiping their hand on.
No, let's not just put that on kids. Let's put that on.
That's people. Yeah,
that's people.
That's why we in this mess in the first place.
I just seen grown people go in. I forgot where we was at. Dude hit the stall. He hit the stall and walked straight out. Not the urinal. He hit the stall.
Yeah, so there was some hands
and walked straight
contact, out. And no hand washing.
No, nasty. You're nasty.
Hey, bro, I ain't shook hands in a solid year. Hey, bro. I've been elbowing and fist bumping people, air high fiving, bro. I'm cool on the handshakes. Sorry, it's unprofessional, but
we better not go to the cafeteria.
Forever, bro.
Nate, you should have followed him all the way around the office just to see where he went at, because I wouldn't have been cool in the office after that.
Hey, he went straight to the cafeteria.
Nah, this wouldn't work. It was out. It was, you're nasty, bro. You're nasty.
But yeah, man, it's definitely moving in the right direction. Hopefully we can get through this and, keep it moving, get somewhat back to what we know as normal.
So, somebody loved me and Alyssa enough to say, all right, man, me and somebody else, we're going to chip in and buy you guys movers. Because they're like, you always helping people. We want to be a blessing to you. Bet. I didn't want to move in the first place.
Do they listen to the podcast?
Yes, they do.
So they probably heard Rich say that there's no chance that I would be assisting in any physical activity related.
Listen,
to
man.
That was probably iffy on my end too. Like, I don't know that.
Hey, man, you got good friends all the way around. You got honest friends. You got friends
I can take that. I'm absolutely cool with that. I can take the fact that my friends will tell me up front, like, yo, I ain't moving a dang on time.
I don't care if you my mama. I will pay somebody. I will call somebody.
Listen, I'm going to give you, and luckily I ain't going to put his business out there but I'm going to tell you one moving company you don't want to mess with, right? So these cats come. They were supposed to be there at 4:00 on a Friday. They got there at 7. First indicator, right? So they're moving stuff. But they bring the little van for some odd reason. I mean, the little truck. For some odd reason, I guess it just wasn't communicated. And I could take that. It was a third party trying to plan all this together. They didn't know exactly what we had going on. So they took the stuff and put it on the truck and then brought it over. They're like, well, we could probably get this done in 2 loads. I'm like, bet, let's do it. They get over here, they unload the first truck, and they're like, man, let's just, if you're fine with this, this is let us come back at 10 in the morning and we'll finish this up because it's starting to get a little late. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm cool. Ain't no major thing. I'm like, 2 days, right? These cats were supposed to come over at 10, 11 in the morning on a Saturday. We did not see them till 10, almost 11 o'clock that Saturday night. First indicator. So they get there 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting over here like, this is bootleg. So the dude wasn't even reaching out. I was talking to the guy who set everything up. And long story short, they got everything packed. And then we get over and it's almost like 12, almost 1 o'clock. And I'm like, man, we about to start moving stuff into the house. Kids sleep. But the dude comes to me and he hits me with this. He's like, it's a little cold out here. I don't feel like we should be trying to move this right here, because I told them they couldn't park the truck on the driveway because it was a huge truck. The builder already told me, like, look, man, you're going to violate your warranty. You bring like that on board with all the stuff in, you might crack your concrete. We ain't going to fix it. Oh, no, you're not going to do that. So you're going to park on the street and you're going to carry this up. So the dude hits me with this sob story. And I'm just like, dude, this is some BS.
You said Dr. said I need to back you out of me.
So dude, I was like, all right, cool. What y'all gonna do? They was like, well, we can come back at 8 a.m. and we'll finish it all up at 8 a.m. I'm like, bet. So I said, but here's what's going to happen though. You leaving the truck with my stuff on it here. You're not driving it.
You made that brother walk home? What?
No, they drove a car behind it. They had an extra dude with them.
Like, brother, you're going to have to Uber.
Nah.
You leave the truck here. You're going to have to Uber home, homie.
So they like, all right, bet. They get in the car, right? They're in the car. I mean, they're outside talking to the manager, trying to explain everything to him. They pull off in the truck with my stuff in it. I immediately pick up the phone and call dude like, hey, yo, I don't know what in the world's going on. Now, this is where customer service just goes all the way left. In the hood, and this dude comes out. He's like, so what you want me to do? What? Thank you, Rich, because that's really what happened. So I'm like, yo, what I want you to do? I want you to bring my stuff back, and I want you to leave it here. He's like, but we got a fenced-in area with cameras. I don't care. I want my stuff here. So they bring it back. They leave the truck. They come back at 8 a.m. on Sunday and finish up. Now, I couldn't get mad because it was somebody else showing love. I just wish they had showed love in a different way. So to my boys who did this, I love you to death. Thank you so much for the love and support. But we can never, ever, ever use that person again. And it's crazy because it was a small business that I wanted to support. And I'm like, I can't even support you, bro. I can't send you no referrals. I can't do none of that.
Was it still snow and stuff on the ground though?
No, see, this is the thing. The builder shoveled all the snow for us.
Okay. So y'all had a clear path. There was no safety issues or concerns as far as
he just didn't want the extra 15 feet.
Exactly. There you go, Nate.
He didn't want the extra 15 feet.
There you go, Nate. So now we getting into,
that's what it was. He was like, all right, it's that free 95. You need to be grateful we even here. That's what it is.
And he hit me with here. We didn't even know you had this much stuff.
So the moral of the story that I'm getting is when your friends bless you with moving services, friends, this is advice for you. Value basket moving company ain't the way to go when you need to get your stuff moved.
He said value basket.
Yo, man, yeah, shout out to all the people who sit in
full moving company.
Yeah,
Listen, I can't fault my friends for this one. This does not fall back on them. If it took a week, I can't even get mad because
that's just not what you was expecting.
Hey, it's right. Not on me. It's more on. It's just reflection of this is probably what it was. They might not knew them personally, but they probably went through, did some searches, and saw, small company. I'm not going to assume any
yes, you are.
cultural
yes, you are.
background or anything
yes, you
like
are.
that.
We're going to leave that alone. Because I don't want to discourage anybody using those types of companies.
It's all good, but we've all had them stories, right?
Moments.
We've all had them stories. We try to support, try to help our people out.
And that was the thing, man. I was like, oh, man, I got them. I'm about to lace them. I know too many people about to move right now.
Customer service goes a long way, black people. That's all I want to say. Let's move on.
Man, to the left-hand side of me, whatever the way your screen is looking right now, we got Mr. 313, Richard Lawrence.
Hey, we really audio only, so I mean, this is for us. They can't see us yet.
It's all right. I'm speaking it in the future.
We getting there.
It's all right. We may drop some of this stuff on.
Hey, people be thinking though we be in the same room, like we be recording in the same room. Like one of my boys listened to it, and he was like, "Oh, y'all don't be together," which is dope because if the energy feels like we be in the same room.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I take that. What's been going on with y'all? Y'all heard my story, man. You know what's going on with y'all? What's up? Weekly update. Give me what you got,
man. Go ahead, Rich. You got it.
Weekly update, man. I'm just I'm just confused on how to dress when I walk out the house in the morning. Because, over the span of a week, I mean, I understand we live in Ohio. I understand southeastern Ohio or southwestern Ohio especially is notorious for crazy weather. But I remember being in close to the zeros about a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
it was pretty warm today, and I was pleasantly surprised to walk out and not need a thermal base layer in my skibbies on and all that. So I'm just trying to figure out how to dress, man. I got
man, I bet it ain't like Michigan. I was telling Ebony, I was like, Michigan, y'all winter lasts till June.
I take that though. I take that because you know what to expect.
Man,
you ain't gonna wake up and it's gonna be 4 to 6 inches of snow, and then 2 days later it's 45 and sunny.
Man, bro. I don't know.
My son said, "Where'd all the snow go? Who came and moved it?" I was like,
"It melted, man.
Global warming, son. Global warming,
man." Somebody repoed our stove.
Like, man, that's what's up, though, man. What's up, Nate? What's going on with you, man?
Man, I'm getting old, dude. I got a teenager that's talking about, "Hey, I'm ready for temps."
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, temps, man. Yo. Josh talking about, in August, I can get my temps. When we gonna go drive? I'm like, no, I ain't ready. Ooh, man. I ain't ready, but it's happening. Man, it's crazy, man.
Driving mine.
Up, man. It's crazy. So they are, so I got, Josh and John, teenagers now. Janelle coming up. Joy coming out. I'm like, man, this is crazy. It is wild. But to see Josh getting ready to get temps and stuff. So if anybody out there got tips on not how to go crazy when you teach your son how to drive, I welcome any of it. One thing I do know, I don't think I'll let Ebony take him out. Because I'm gonna mess around and have a daggone hole in my floor on the right side, on the passenger side. I can see that happening with her. Her nerves ain't. Nah, it ain't gonna happen.
It's like you start out with a go-kart and then you move them up from there, and it's the same concept.
Man,
teach him how to use the riding lawnmower. Take him out to the country, boy.
Don't put him out on the street until you and him confident.
Man.
Right,
man.
Y'all got plenty of parking lots near y'all.
Yeah.
I was about to say there's a lot of open church parking lots. You better go for, boy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's about that time. So, but it's good, man.
Makes me feel aged as well.
But it's good stuff, man.
Like fine wine.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm glad to hear everybody's in good shapes, man. Rich, I heard you got a one gotta go, and it's a doozy today. What you got for us, man? One gotta go. One gotta go. One gotta go. One gotta go.
I requested some one gotta go music, so there we go. Got it.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Famous movie thugs. First, we have Nino Brown from New Jack City, Doughboy from Boyz in the Hood, Bishop from Juice, or Tony Montana from Scarface. Greg, kick us off real quick.
One of these got to go.
One gotta go.
So, all right. So, what are we really basing this on? Like, just
which one could we do without?
Which one could we do without? So, we got Doughboy, we have Nino, we have Scarface, and who am I missing?
Bishop.
You know what? Honestly, that ain't even a real good long thought on that one. Bishop got to go.
Think so, Bishop?
I think so, man. I can't, when I go back and I look at Juice is just one of those movies where it's just like, I just kind of watch it. You know what I mean? It's not anything, no real big impact, I guess, because I'm not really from that time period. So when I think of Bishop, it was just kind of like, dude was just shady.
Rewind that back. What did you just say? What did you just say?
Say what?
You said you were from what time period?
Hey, man, this is my section. Hold on a second. When you get a chance to talk, you can talk. But right now,
this is called Honest Moments.
I'm just trying.
This is Honest Moments.
I'm trying to clarify.
That time period, I was a kid. I wasn't a teenager then.
Greg, what are you talking about? From Juice? I was a kid.
Hold on. Juice came out and when Juice come out?
96 or something like that.
No, it didn't come out in
92. I'm sorry.
92. You was a teenager, homie.
Man, listen. I was 13. 12.
Oh.
12? What are you
I was 12. You were 14. Good player.
Hey, Greg. I was 6.
Greg, how you keep forgetting how old you are?
That's a sign.
I don't know.
Right,
I think it's the kids. I really think it's the kids.
Like,
I think it's the kids. But I just couldn't feel it, man. I just couldn't feel it. That Juice, I like Pac. I just didn't, out of all those movies, nah. Now, I almost let Ice Cube go because of the curl, but that was a different segment. That was a different show. But anyways, that's my Bishop is mine. Who you got, Nate?
So, look, I'll be honest up front. I ain't seen Scarface. I know about him. Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
How do you not? I mean, come on, man.
What you got to say?
How do you not watch? How have you not seen Scarface?
Dude, I wouldn't.
You used to listen to Master P. Stop.
What does that have to? What does that have
you
to do?
You used to listen to the gutterest of music. You didn't watch
movies.
Because a lot of the music that you used to listen to went off of Scarface.
It wasn't that. I didn't. What Scarface came out.
That was probably
that was a long time ago. It was before that was really, Greg, before my time. Like, for real.
It's fact. We got a fact check.
Factual. I think maybe.
Yeah, I think it was like 80s.
Yeah, no, I never went back to
1984.
Yeah, I never went back to watch it.
But you was how old?
I was 6, Rich. I was 6.
That one you were a kid for.
But at least I seen it.
Hey, we ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna be shaming.
That's okay, cool, man. Hey, everybody. It's a couple movies I done had to culture my wife on to, so I understand. Everybody ain't experienced certain things from movie history.
Man, all right.
So who you got, Nate?
So, I don't know. Just off of that, just because I ain't seen it. Tony Montana.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they are all good movies that you can rewatch and watch over again.
But my favorite, probably out of all of them, was Nino Brown.
I would agree with that. Nino Brown.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, he was cold.
Yeah.
He was
Sit
the one
your
$5
butt down before I make change.
So that was he showed the flashy side of it. It wasn't just street stuff. It was like, oh, you can make money and all that.
Who you got, Rich?
Easy for me to Bishop got to go. It ain't really much of a comparison there, but
I don't think that was his best role either.
Oh,
like
no,
Tupac, that was not his best role at all.
All right, so Rich, let's wrap this part up. Who's out of here?
We gonna send Tupac Shakur, aka Bishop, packing. Yeah, I mean, ain't really much of a competition. Nate had the default to Scarface just because he hadn't seen it, and I get that. So one got to go, and one went.
There it is.
Having some conversations with my son, man. It's always an event, always an adventure. Just talking to him and trying to teach him and kind of dealing with the issues of, you know, his mentality and his attitude towards certain things, man. It had me thinking, you know, when I give him a task or something that he feels is inadequate or that he's incapable of doing, you know, the first thing, without an attempt, without any type of effort put into it, man, I noticed that, you know, he starts, you know, dogging on himself, and you hear that can't word, man. And it had me thinking, like, how often in life are we faced with situations, or do we approach situations where, you know, it may seem unreasonable or unrealistic to us, and we automatically go into it with a defeated mindset. So, you know, it kind of stemmed that whole, you know, will versus skill, you know, when you're willing to do something, when you're passionate about something, or when you know that you have to put in work or extra effort to get something done, you know, at what point do you turn that on and off? And, you know, when skill comes into play, you know, how far can skill take you before, you know, you have to hit that extra gear, or, you know, put it in the overdrive? You know, Tom Brady winning a 7th championship. But not only that, you know, the way he got to it and, you know, doing it with another team. I thought about, you know, Pat Mahomes' performance in the Super Bowl, and, you know, thought about several iconic teams, you know, dynasties that we've had in sports over the years. And what did those teams have, or what did those teams, you know, do or put together to get to what they were trying to, you know, get to the championship, or get to the goal? Or why do we have that evolution in what we do and how we get to what we're trying to accomplish? So what things have you guys experienced or witnessed that kind of, you know, relates to that, or, you know, goes hand in hand with that?
I can relate that. I can relate that to college basketball, right? I think that's the part of March Madness that makes it one of the best, because you can have the high-ranking teams, you can have the Dukes, the North Carolinas, Kentuckys, all of them, but then you have a freaking George Mason, or what is it?
You can't say Gonzaga no more, because they're a staple.
They're a staple. Like a Valparaiso or something, just come out of nowhere, and they ain't got the height, they ain't got the talent, they ain't got the athleticism, they ain't got the name behind them, but all they got is scrappiness. They got will, they got grittiness. They get out there and get after it. And it makes it exciting, because like anybody has a shot. Anybody can win. And like, you know, when it's one and done, anybody can take it if they really, really want it. So I agree with you that talent puts you in a good position.
Yeah.
Having skill puts you in a good position. But if you find somebody or a team or even or like an individual person that got like that dog in them and got like that strong why and that grit and that will behind them, they'll beat them anytime.
That's something I actually had in my notes too. You know, that talent does put you in a good position to, you know, set yourself up for that, you know, that process or, you know, the beginning of that process to getting to, you know, your goal or whatever the case may be. But, you know, there's more to it than that. I think, you know, you have to experience some things. You have to go through some things and, you know, experience those failures in order to build up that tough skin or build up that, you know, that momentum. Got to build up that momentum to continue on, you know, working on whatever you're trying to get at. So, and, yeah, that's big, man. Talent puts you in position, but, you know, that will is what keeps you going. That's what drives you to your goal. Greg, did you have any examples, or what comes to mind when you think of that?
Talent puts you in position, but will helps you execute. Right. Yeah. The two examples I kind of had was, one was personal. It was like, I remember being at NKU. I was probably about my sophomore or junior year. And I got the note like, hey, yo, academically, we're about to send you home. And I'm serious, man. And I was not wanting to go home. That was the last thing. I'm like, I can't go home because I don't want to feel like I failed. And I can't go home because I just don't want to go back home. I just don't want to be, you know, back underneath my mom and them. So what it did was it kicked something into me. And I'm not the best studier. I'm not the best test taker. But having that determination to say, by any means necessary, I'm going to get the grades I need to get. I would be, and Nate, you know this, I would be up in the loft in the lounge area up until like 2 or 3 in the morning studying, because I was like, whatever I have to do to stay, I'm going to stay. You know, I love movies. And the first thing I thought about was Men of Honor and how they had, you know, the first black master diver, Carl Brashear. And everything he had to go through, he was not the most talented. He was not the most educated. But because he had his love for his dad, that he wanted to be the best. His dad told him before he went into the Navy, I want you to be the best. He had to go through racism. He had to go through, and not having the education. And then it got to a point where it was even physical, where he even lost a leg and he still had to complete the mission. And you saw where it was like, my man, towards the end of the movie, had to lift a 250-pound diving suit on one natural leg and one prosthetic leg. And then he has to take 12 steps in this thing. And somewhere around the 9th step, my man's leg breaks. That's no longer skill after that. Skill stops at a certain point because it can't break the threshold of whatever that is, right? But will always break through that. So my man was able to complete the 3 steps he needed through sheer will on one broken leg and one prosthetic leg.
Greg, there's a book that you had mentioned, one of our earlier podcasts, by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. He talks about that. He talks about his like, he didn't have an ideal background. Talking about skill, talent. He wasn't smart enough. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't like all these things, and falling in love with the process and pain. He was able to push through.
Yes.
Man. So in the book, he describes running one of his first races, right? So he runs this, 24-hour race. And he's talking about, in order to finish, he was not prepared. He didn't train well, but he had to finish. So in order to finish, he's talking about, he was getting to the end and his body was shutting down to the point where he was pissing on himself, and he took a dump on himself. Wow. But he was like, I gotta finish. His body was shutting down, to the point they're talking about he had like liver damage, and he could have had liver damage and stuff like that. But he was pushing to the end to get to the end of that race. And I was like, that's another level of like mental, like toughness and fortitude and like really grit. I was like, ooh.
But see, and that's what I'm saying. That's why will always beat skill, because will get dirty when skill won't. It'll get down and dirty, like what Nate said, man. Nobody's peeing and dropping a turd on themselves. Nobody's doing that. Right. So you with will, you do the things that nobody else will do. And that's what helps you win the game, or that's what helps you make it to the goal, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. In my opinion, that's what I truly believe. So when it comes down to, really getting to it, I think it's really super important that you always go back to, why am I doing this? Mm. I think that's that, because now we're getting into like why power versus willpower, that type of thing.
Just growing up, I love music. I always wanted to be something related to, music, whether it's, I started out playing the drums, then I transitioned to playing the, keyboard, piano. But in doing that, it was, I think that it wasn't that I was the best at it. It wasn't that, I was going to be the best at it. It was something that I didn't know, that I wanted to know, that I made a choice to, pursue and put my effort in to, learn how to play the drums, learn how to play the keys. But in that, I think the service part of it and doing it, with a heart that, it wasn't about, me getting paid. It wasn't about, anything monetary, because I know that, growing up in church and being a church musician, and, that's one of the big things that, once you get good, then you can start gigging, or you can start, playing at different churches and making money. I really wasn't never into that. I just wanted to learn the skill. I wanted to learn the craft of it to have that, in my bag, you know what I mean? And, I got more satisfaction out of, my mom's, being proud that, I was able to do something, or that, somebody gave me a compliment, saying that I'm getting better. There was a satisfaction in knowing that, someone was able to see the results of the work that I was putting in, and not, me putting these expectations on myself.
Dude, I remember that time. I remember that time when you had to switch over.
Yeah.
And dude, I remember they used to tell me about, you would go down to the basement, put your headphones on, and listen to tracks, and be
hours
going through that and trying to get the not just playing, but getting it down to track level perfection.
It would be a disrespect, like, for me to approach something, or because I was just really mimicking what I was hearing and just trying to replicate it. But it was teaching me the patterns and the some theory behind music. Not knowing that at the time, but looking at it on the back end, because I didn't have that part of it. I didn't have that skill part of it where I was taught, where I was classically trained, or where I knew how to read music or any of that. But, it made stuff make sense once the pieces came.
Go ahead, Greg. I know you got something.
I am, because it's funny. It's funny, man, because I'm sitting here, and as soon as Rich said something, it brought it to my memory. They were like, you need to let your kids learn how to play instruments, because it's learning it teaches them grit, because they learn how to fail and have to keep staying with it. And I think that's part of it, is that we don't allow ourselves to learn in failure, and be taught by failure. Like, it's okay. It helps develop that will, because if you really want it, all right, let's see how bad you really want it. Somebody once said, success plays hard to get. Right. To hear Rich say he was spending hours. I know it was a lot of bad keys. I know it was a lot, but he stayed with it, and it produced something to it. So I think we can't, or if you're listening, you can't necessarily avoid the failure part. That's the key piece of it. Like, failing, bumping your head, falling down, but getting back up, staying with it, continuing on, learning from the last time you failed, learning from the last bad note, whatever that situation is. I think that's the piece that speaks loudly to me when I'm hearing Rich talking about spending hours down there. I know it wasn't as just easy as he thought it was. Boop, 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 boop. Nah, my man is down there. Boop, wrong. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, that's wrong. I got to keep. So it was the learning in the failure.
Another thing with this is that, Rich, you have talent. You might not have the formal skill, but God had gifted you with talent. Like, it's not on everybody's to-do list or in their spectrum of talents to be able to listen to a track, pick out the notes and the parts, and be able to mimic them and practice over and over again. That's not on everybody.
So yeah, man. From what I'm hearing is, to me, it could be regardless of skill. Regardless of what your skill level is. It's that extra effort. That extra time. Those extra, the extra free throws, the extra chapters. Repetitiveness of what I'm saying, building that muscle memory, or building, whatever mental stamina you need to get through whatever you're trying to get through or accomplish, supersedes whatever skill level you have. Because, like you said, that's one thing you said that stood out to me, was diving for the loose ball, man. It's when you hungry, when you want it bad enough, when you have a desire, when there's nothing that can stand in the way of what you want to accomplish,
then there's nothing that stands in your way
like that. Yeah, you're gonna be scrappy the way you gotta, sacrifice yourself, risk it, risk it all in order to, build that, character.
It's funny, man, because your nephew over here, who has great skills on the football field. I mean, We've seen the videos. He nice, but he keeps relying on that skill set, and he hasn't gotten to a point of, I want to be the best, and I'm willing to do what it takes. If it means that I got to get out of here and, just jog up and down the street or up and down the driveway or whatever it is, like he's still on some, I'm going to rely on skill. And I think when individuals start to do that, they can get complacent and they keep thinking that they can turn it on and turn it off when they want to, right? As opposed to being able to have that thing on and running all the time.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Nate?
So look, I love your story. That's a great story, man.
It's not a story. That's a testimony.
You have a great triumphant story. I can say
testimony
and story testimony.
Hey, you was a part of that story, wasn't you?
Tomato.
He was, because he was the reason why my grades were the way they were in the beginning.
Oh, shots fired.
Whoa. Nah, for real. So Greg's story is great. His story is about, that struggle, triumph, overcoming, getting that letter and then overcoming. My story was not quite like that. I remember this stupid question, right? That somebody asked me on campus. It was like, why are you not achieving? Why are you not doing it? And my stupid response at the moment was, it's not that I'm not smart. I'm just not a good student. And I thought that was a good excuse. But really, I was a person at that place in my life where I didn't have like a focused passion, and I didn't have a good why. So I had potential. I was smart. I had the skills. I had all the tools to be successful at that time. And I'm talking college, I had all the skills to be successful at that time, but I didn't have those things to push you over the hump past the point where it gets like past the point of easy. Right. So everything is cool and easy, and it's fun in the beginning because it's new. You got this great experience and all this stuff that's happening. You can be excited about it for a minute, but as it gets hard and you got to dig in and have some oomph behind why you do what you do. At that point, I didn't have it. So with Greg getting his letter and him changing around, that didn't happen for me. Like I messed up over and over and over again. Ultimately, where I got that ultimate letter that said, Mr. Perkins, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. And it was a wake up call at that moment because I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to be a failure. I didn't want to look like, I didn't want to look like I failed, even though I did. So that led me to, I was the one who was in my peer group. I had to go get a job. I had to go figure it out. I had to figure out that there was a big difference between paying those little bitty bills on campus and paying real bills in your own apartment. So for me, it's kind of the reverse story of, I had all the skill and the potential, but I just didn't have that drive and that why and that passion about what I was doing that caused me to push past all that.
Yeah. And I like to say that was a big point. I think my why was clear that I had to be successful. I could not go back home and be a failure. There was no way that I could not finish this task. I don't care what I needed to do. And there was times where I had to, figure it out. And, I stayed on your couch a couple times. But the grind of it I was comfortable with the grind of it. I felt more in my space when I was in that grind of that pressure that it had to get done. I'm not comfortable when there's no pressure, because then that's when my focus is all off. But when that pressure came, it allowed me to be able to lock in. And I think that's the one thing that's super powerful about will, is that will allows you to kind of zone in and block everything else out. And it helps you to get that focus.
So in that, right. So it makes me think of that skill versus will part. I think everybody gets to a point where whatever you do, where it stops becoming either easy or fun, right? And there's difficulty that some kind of difficulty, whether it's the opponent in front of you, if you're in sports, or the obstacle or the task that's kind of like, ooh, I'm not confident in this, right? And for most people for all people, what they said, when you face a difficulty, it said that you either have 3 different responses, right? There's fight, there's flight, or there's freeze. So it sounds like for you, Greg, you had you have a fight mentality where you,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like no matter what the conflict is, even though that I think that fits with the Craig mentality you had, was love to face. Like, so Rich, Greg had an alter ego in college. It was like, you know how he got Weiner on here sometimes?
Yeah.
He had who we call Craig. And Craig was the confrontational one.
Craig?
Nah, like Craig.
Like Debo fight Craig.
Like Debo, like, oh, you want to battle? Let's battle. But and you're correct, Nate, because it was one of those things where I felt most comfortable when I had the pressure, right? And I think understanding that about myself, I've now had to learn how to keep the pressure on, to keep the will to push, because when it's not there, I'm operating with the mentality of it's okay, it's all right, we'll get it done. You know, I'm relying on my skill set more so than the desire to get it done, and to get it done at that optimal level. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's connecting, but even now at work, there's times I'll allow things to get to a certain point to where it's like, all right, you have to make this happen now. You got it. There's no other options. So, I mean, to that point of just that fight, freeze, or flight, that will makes you get down and dirty with it. I keep coming back to a skill. Will try to find any other way around the obstacle, even if it's avoiding it, I think.
I think I don't like something I struggle a little bit with this is I don't think it has to be either or, but it has to be a healthy combination. Because there's certain things that, like, I would look at it like this: skill gets you in the door, right? But it's the will that allows you to take a seat and make it yours. It is skill that pushes you to the next door. I mean, it's will that pushes you to the next door. Because there's certain things that you do have to have. You have to have some skill, something in there that gets you there. There's something that has to be worked with, right? But that's just the entry point.
That's something I wrote down too, real quick, not to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
That skill, like you said, man, it gets you in the game. Skill gets you on the court, on the field. Will gets you to the fourth quarter, to the last buzzer, or to the blow the horn or shoot the whatever. It gets you to the finish line.
Yeah.
So, without both, yes, I think both equals greatness. I don't think, there can be one without the other, because that will helps build the skills you have, or the talent that you started with, to get you to that greatness status or whatever. So yeah, man, that's a big.
You know what? One of the things that pushed me into that place of like having more of a flight, because naturally I'm more of a freezer. I freeze in the face of conflict and difficulty and try to analyze it more than anything. Then that's kind of where I'm at. But having a wife and kids, understanding that there are people and their lives and their livelihood that is sitting on my shoulders and depending on my push. There was a time when my parents taught me, I've always had the idea, it was taught to me, you go to work. No matter what happens, you work. It don't matter if you gotta take out trash, if you gotta clean toilets, you work to support your family. And I remember that's what, from that time when I got that letter and I got sent home, that was my mentality, was I got to figure out how to make this work. I got to go get a job. I'm not gonna lean on my parents, right? In that way. But it wasn't until I had a wife and I had little kids, and it was like, oh, you can't just skate through. You can't just rely on like, well, I'll be all right. One thing go to the next. It'll always work out. No. My wife from Detroit. My wife. My wife needs to make sure that things are going well. She needs to feel secure. And you can't get that by just relying on your skill and just skating by and just realizing, now you got to dig in and be like, nope, here's what we're going to do.
So what you're saying is you can't fluff this one.
No, ain't no plan.
Stuff don't fall out the sky where we from, bro. You gotta you gotta get them knuckles ashy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you got that completely right.
It was something you said, Nate, that when you left school, there was something that happened, and I heard it was like a clear boundary. I think the will kicks in once that clear boundary is set. Because you had said something that I'm not going to lean on my parents, right? And once that clear boundary was set of this is what I'm not going to do, or this is what I'm not going to have happen, it creates a way for your will to kick in, and that focus of the task, then you're able to lock in on it. So I think for anybody who's listening, you really got to first start to create those clear boundary lines of what you're not, or what you are, or what you're not going to do. I was kind of in a bad situation, and I remember I had $4 to my name, and I had the twins with me, and they were like, "We're hungry." I went to Mickey D's and burger and fry for one, burger and fry, and we got 2 waters. And my son looked me in my eye and was like, "Can I have some more?" And I was like, "I don't have it." And that hurt so bad that I told myself ever since that time, I will never put my kids in that situation ever again.
What, eating McDonald's?
No.
That's real.
Hey, right there. Hey, at that point in time, Rich, I couldn't get mad at Mickey D's. They were clutch. Clutch. That was when they were giving you the double cheeseburger for $1.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
that was the real dollar menu.
Right, when everything on there was $1. So man. I think when you get to that point of pain, internal or external, once you get to that point, that will to never experience that pain kicks in, and it makes will activate. So sometimes you got to, even in your mind, create your own pain points where it's like, you know what, if I do this, I'm going to have to end up, almost like putting yourself on punishment. If I don't get this done, then I'm going to have to create some pain in my life to make me be like, next time I'm going to get it done.
For sure. We doing that with our kids, like with our boys now. It's the pain point it's the phone. It's the phone. It's everything they do is like social connection. All of that is through their phone. But we're trying to give them those lessons of understanding that there's some things that you have to do, and there's clear consequences to that if you don't follow through and do them, to get them to at least get to the place of like, all right, you need to put some effort, because I'm not just looking for you just to skate by. So I'm looking for you to give effort, and if you're not giving that effort, there's going to be a consequence. And that consequence right now is like, nope, you don't get your phone in if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So it's for them, they're experiencing it now. And that's my hope. My hope is that they can experience this cheap lesson now that they don't have to pay for, rather than experience the expensive lesson that I had to go through to try to get to this same place.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a story I use in my class where, a mailman is walking up to a porch and he hears his dog barking and the old man rocking in the chair, and the mailman drops the mail off, and he's like, man, he's about to turn and leave. And he turns back to the old guy and he's like, man, why is your dog howling like that? He's like, he's sitting on a nail. And he's like, well, why don't he get up? He said, because it doesn't hurt bad enough. And until that pain, until it, how do they say, until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, until you reach that point where you're like your apex of pain, and you're like, I'm not doing this, or I'm not going through that, or I'm not going to relive this, That's the only time when you're going to be able to make something really get that charge in your soul to go and fight that good fight that you need to fight.
Yeah, man. For me, to your point, for me, thinking back on certain situations, like some of the worst pain I ever suffered or dealt with was mental. You know what I mean? It was that battle with myself and, the back and forth of whether or not, I'm capable or I'm good, getting past, the excuses or barriers I was putting up for myself was, that was a struggle for me. And it taught me, a lot of things on top of, what I already experienced just naturally through life. But, I think that's what helped build, certain characteristics of, of my why. Thinking about it, yeah, that why is the first step. That's the first, first step in moving towards your goal. I said that already, but going through stuff like you said, experience certain things, understanding why things were happening, or what caused, what led up to those things. That all builds that callus, that builds that muscle memory, man. And nobody can take that from you or from me, or whatever you experience, whatever lessons you learn from it, that those are yours. No one can change that.
Yo, so this makes me think though, real quick. Does the motivator always have to be something negative? Can there ever be like I'm thinking of maybe some listeners that be like, does it have to be pain?
No.
Like what else could I use as a motivation to push past a difficult situation?
It can be
win.
I think it's really, there's two ways you can always motivate yourself. And I was always taught it's fire and carrots. If there's a fire in your house, it's going to motivate you to get up out the house. But you can also dangle something in front of somebody and they can go after it just as hard, right? So the question is what can you put in front of you that connects with or creates a why in you that makes you chase after it, that you will chase through walls to go get it.
Okay.
Right. Things like creating a better life for your family could be one that I'll run through walls because it connects with my need to provide for them so much that, I'm whatever I have to do to go do this, I'm going to do it. Right. So love, let me just kind of just bring it back together. Love is one of those things that can make you go for it. If you love something, you love your passion, your whatever it is, your job, your family, love is one of those things that once you can find and articulate it and get a clear view of what that thing is, love will make you run after anything.
For sure.
Agreed.
Ask Pookie. Ask Pookie. I love it. I love it.
For me, man, a motivator, one motivator I know that works for me is, just seeing or, completion or, seeing something from start to finish without necessarily, knowing what the in between is, but knowing that I know what my vision or, what I expect this to look like or somewhat be like when it's done or when it's completed, and, starting and finishing with that in mind. Also, that love part, man, seeing smiles on people's faces and just seeing, people genuinely happy and proud of you or for you for, whatever you may have accomplished or have, achieved. That's big too, because it's, it doesn't stop there, but it kind of gives you that sense of, accomplishment and the will to, it can
to replicate it,
to add to that will, and help you continue to restart. That's something big that I also kind of take for myself is when I complete something or when I get to a end point of something, starting over, you know what I'm saying? Starting from zero and building, building back like nothing ever happened, celebrate for a moment. Yeah, it's cool, but it's just like winning a championship and becoming a dynasty. That once you do it, it's cool, but then you got to get right back in, the gym. So,
yeah, sometimes I think with us, it's just having a conversation. because sometimes you don't get to hear people flesh out stuff like this. And I can say in this type of thing, even at my age, I'm still working through this, like trying to figure out like what motivates me to push my will over my talents so that I can achieve more than I've ever achieved before. So, honest moment again. I feel like I've outran or surpassed like certain family standards, and now I'm operating in a different realm. Then I'm not trying to say I'm bigger or better, but just you exceeded the expectations.
Exceeded the expectations. Thank you for that. It's now like I don't want it to be like this is where I stop, but now I'm trying to figure out what do I want to go for now. It's them to your point of just like how do we keep that fire burning? So yeah, this is definitely a good one because now I'm going back and asking myself, what do I love? What I got hope in? What I got hope for? And what am I willing to really chase? So I think that.
Hey, that's a question. Maybe we can close out this. What's your passion right now, Greg, Rich? What's your passion? Like what are those things that like is being, kind of burning on your chest and you going after? What's the carrot?
Chimichangas.
I knew you'd say something stupid. I knew it. Now everybody out there, that's why we doing this fitness challenge. That's why we did it. Brother's talking about chimichangas now.
Listen, hey, no, man, really.
I saw you, boy. I saw you 10 pounds down.
That motivated me.
That's real. Y'all don't know how many cheeseburgers I done had.
Motivated me. I was like, we got. I'm not trying to give up this $100.
I done did the 2-step, boy. I was doing good, and then I done slid on back. I'm a person cha-cha sliding
too, but I zeroed in. Like, you know what, man? I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? This is not a game to me anymore. Competitive with it, so y'all need to step your game up and do what you got.
We did. We're ordering the treadmill now, sir.
Man, do what you gotta do. I'm using my resources. I'm being real resourceful, man. YouTube will teach you a lot of what you can do with stuff around your house too.
Yeah.
To answer your question, really, training. I love seeing people develop, man. I love seeing the light come on in people. That thing motivates me. I could be dead tired, start doing training, wake up. That's what I feel like I've been built for. It's long and short of it. Rich, what about you?
For me, it's, overcoming fear. Anything that I'm hesitant about or that I have doubts about, just embracing it. One thing is speaking, talking. I don't really, this is the most I've done, just being on here. My brothers make it easy for me, but this is way out of my comfort zone, out of my element. So just trying to sharpen these skills and, be an example. I tell my son, hard work don't just happen. You have to put effort in. You have to, do what's uncomfortable, do what don't make you feel good. But, at the end of the day, it pays off. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will.
Boom. I'm passionate about helping people. Like this has been an outlet to hopefully we're able to, share words that are helpful to those who are listening, even in our goofy stories and laughter and our honestness, right? Our honest and vulnerability. Hopefully it's able to help people, but my passion is to be able to help people grow, help people be more than what they can be, discover their purpose and push forward. Yeah. And hopefully give them some tools, to be forward. So honest moments, that's a vehicle. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to
Greg, you got anything you want to lead the people with? Anywhere you can direct the people with Catalyst? Oh
man, listen. Catalyst Trainings with an S on the end of it.com is the website. Come on, hit us up. If you are looking to try to understand your superpower, understand your performance gaps, understand what motivates you, this is what we do.
You got to find that why.
Got to find that why. We can help you find that why. I'm telling you, some of these assessments that we have will help you get to your why and help you understand why you think the way you think and how to work better with other people. Come find us, Catalyst Training, all platforms.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nate, he on the quest, man. Always doing great things, seeing great visuals with that. What do we have coming up with Mr. He on the quest?
I shared this with Greg a little while ago. Brother going back to school. That's a big thing for me. So that's the big thing for me is finishing what I started. So that's the big thing for me. Look,
and I will be there.
I've been blessed, and my hard work has paid off. I've been blessed, but there's something when looking at your teenage son and you telling him to push and you telling him that you got to finish what you started and stuff like that, and then you got to show it too. So this is my come watch me.
Yep,
it's my come watch me moment.
I support you, brother. More power to you. I wish I had that same inspiration and motivation, but Sally Mae and whoever else ain't getting no more of my money, bro. I promise you. But yeah, that's big, man. You know, we just talked about completion, finishing what you started. You know, being that example. That's what it's all about to me. So, you know, I just want to wrap up by saying, you know, I want to thank everybody for listening. We invite everyone to subscribe, like, comment, wherever you listen to the podcast. Just leave us a note of inspiration or some feedback or, you know, any.
Let us know what y'all want to hear.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we come up with certain topics just based on thoughts or, you know, ideas that we have, but, you know, we want to be able to engage our audience in, or, you know, what audience we have and kind of, you know, stay relevant with, you know, what's going on. So, again, I'm Rich, Rico, Larry, 313 on all platforms. We got Nate Perkins, he on the quest.
Yep.
Greg Walker, Catalyst Training. It's been another one. It's been real, and we out.
You know I love you.